Hello there, everyone. It is me, and today we are going to be chatting about Instagram growth. This is actually the first time I've scheduled a live, and it was kind of cool. I hear there's some Instagram changes coming where when you schedule a live, it's actually going to show it on your profile, which is going to be kind of nice. But welcome, everyone. Today I want to share the 4 reasons why your Instagram account might not be growing, and then I'm going to give you some tips to help you grow your account. So welcome, everyone. If you are joining me, say hello. I see some familiar faces, and if you're joining on the replay, feel free to comment in the comments. I always come back and check. So we're going to talk about Instagram growth today, and this is coming from my own experience growing my Instagram account. A lot of you who have just been newly following this account. Good to see you too, Christine. I actually started this account brand new. I had another account before this that it's a long story, but I grew it using loops and things like that, and it just didn't feel aligned to me. So in the beginning of 2020, I actually started a brand new Instagram account. And that's where Quantum Leap Queen was born. And I've been using this account ever since. And in the last 90 days specifically, I've had a significant increase in my growth. And in reviewing what I've been doing and what's shifted, that's what inspired this live. And I also did a post on it a couple of days ago as well about the 4 reasons why I wasn't growing before and what I've done to shift that. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. Now, let's first, before I say anything about how to help you grow your Instagram accounts and what I've learned in my own growth, is you don't need to have a huge audience in order to be successful in anything, but you do need to have a targeted audience. So when I'm talking about Instagram growth, as coaches, these platforms are like pivotal for our businesses. This and email lists, you need both. So if you don't have an email list, you absolutely need that, because we also don't own our social media. We don't own our followers. And so we want to have a way to move followers into something like an email list, but that's a whole separate training in its own. But our Instagram accounts and our Facebook accounts, but I'm going to speak about Instagram specifically, it's a free advertising for us. It's a place that we get to show up and share and meet people and create connections and relationships with people for our businesses. And it's really important. It's really pivotal. So if you're finding that your Instagram account isn't growing, then that could potentially be an issue for your business, right? However, with that being said, you don't need to have an audience of 50,000 people in order to be successful as well. You can do very well on Instagram with smaller audiences. So this training today isn't about, growing a big account so you can have the big fancy number on your account and feel like you're, something. It's about growing your audience with people that are looking for what you have to offer. And that's more important. An audience that is targeted to your services and to what you do, right, in your business. So that's really what this is about today. However, at the end of the day, it is a numbers game, right? The more people we have to share and talk with, the more success we might find. And as you know, like I said at the beginning of this, I started my brand new Instagram account at the beginning of last year. And in the last 90 days, I've had over 55% increase in my reach, in my engagement, and in my following in the last 90 days over the previous 90 days in my account. And there are specific reasons for that. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. So I'm going to go through each one, and then I'm going to share what might be happening, and then how to fix it. Okay. So, and if you have questions as you're watching this live, feel free to pop them in the comments, and I'll come back and check them after. But the first reason why your audience might not be growing, and this is probably for most people, this is probably one of the most important things you can do when you're growing a business, a coaching business using social media, is your content is probably not niched enough. The having a very specific niche for your business, having a very clear message that is targeted to a specific type of person or a specific person that's struggling with a specific problem is going to literally quantum leap your account. And I will say in the last 90 days, that's probably been the number one thing that's created this increase in growth on my Instagram is I have been very specific about who I work with and what I do for those people. So I am a coach for new coaches, and I help them create, launch, and fill their first high-ticket group coaching program. It's very specific. It is very niched, and all my content is around that specific thing. So if your content is very general, if your content is kind of all over the place, today you're talking about your dog, tomorrow you're talking about your business, the next day you're talking about something completely different, and your content's all over the place, that may be why your account's not growing. If you want people to show up on your account and go, oh, she does that. Oh, she's this, right? They can see exactly what you do and who you help. And then they know if you are for them or not. That's when they're going to hit follow, right? And so if you take a look at your Instagram account right now, are you niched enough? When you look at your account, do people know who you are and what you do? So that would be the first thing, is you have to be specific, you have to be clear. And that has been probably one of the biggest game changers for me in growing my account over the last 90 days and seeing that increase in engagement, in followers, and in my reach as well. They're all over 50%. So that is absolutely number one. So if you need help with figuring out your niche, I do have a free tool. You guys can find that in the link in my bio. My Nail Your Niche guide helps you go really deep and specific on your niche. So you can grab that as a way to help you figure that out. Now, the second reason that you might not be growing a following as fast as you'd like, and this one might sting a little bit, but your content probably is lacking some sort of value. And this has been another really big eye-opener for me is when I'm posting on my social media in the last 90 days, I've really been thinking about, and this is what you want to do, is you really want to be thinking about, what does your ideal client need right now? What are they going through right now? What are they struggling with right now? And what kind of, what little nugget, it doesn't have to be a full, mapped out program or anything like that, but what little piece of content could you put down on your social media that's going to help them move the needle just a little bit? You will be amazed at how much, when you just give a small piece of value that's going to just help them, even if it's just helping them in that day, how much that can do for people who are struggling and they see that content and then they're like, oh, that was so helpful. Follow. I want to see more of what she has to say because she understood me. She got where I was. And then also she helped me, right? And that can go a long way when it comes to growing an audience. And not only that, when your content has value, people share that shit, right? When they share your value and they get value from it and they share it to their audience, that's what triggers growth, right? Because then other people are seeing it, other audiences are seeing it. So if you're finding that your content isn't being shared, it's not getting as much engagement on it, ask yourself, am I being of value to my ideal clients through my content? That would be number two. So think about what they're feeling, what they're going through, what is it that they need to hear today, and create content that serves them in that way, right? So how can you help them move the needle even just a little bit through your content? And that's really going to help more people share your content and want to stay and follow you so they can see what else you have to share, right? What else can you help them with? Okay, so the third thing is consistency. Now, be honest, if you're a new or newer coach, be honest with yourself right now. Are you showing up consistently on your social media for your audience and sharing value and sharing all those things? Because what I will say is consistency is probably the thing that could be, I would say, hurting your account the most for many reasons. But number one is that people love predictability. Like we love to know. If we see somebody every day in our stories, it's like we love that, right? We follow people who are showing up consistently sharing value. There are people that I follow because I know every day they're going to post this one piece of content. I'm looking for it every day, right? So consistency is showing up on a regular basis, whatever I'm not going to say whatever that means for you, because if you're like, well, consistency for me is showing up one day on 1 week and then not for 3 weeks and then one day the next week, that's not consistency, right? But the other part of consistency that I want to make really clear is that it doesn't mean you have to hand over your entire life to Instagram and show up all the time and be on here all the time. I mean, how can you be consistent, meaning showing up regularly over the course of a week, let's say, in a way that serves and works for you? So, for me, I'm not always talking in my stories every day. I do try and share in my stories every day, but it's not always me talking, because I just can't commit to that kind of, showing up every day and talking in my stories. I don't post 5 days a week, because again, that's something that I just can't commit to, but I do commit to posting 3 times a week, right? Because that feels good for me. So what is consistency look like for you? And how can you show up on a regular basis for your audience, sharing that value, sharing that your wisdom, sharing what you know about how to serve and help your clients? You can't show up 1 week and then be gone for 3 weeks, because that hurts your algorithms for the back end stuff. I don't know all the things about the algorithms, but I know that the algorithms love people who are consistent on Instagram. So if you are committing to some kind of consistent weekly schedule for your social media, it's going to be better for you to attract in people to your audience. Also, it's going to be better for the algorithms. And I mean, like, it's just a no-brainer. If you want to grow your account, you got to show up so people can find you, right? Like, that's just a no-brainer. So, and what happens, I think, is a lot of times new coaches get that imposter syndrome, and they share a piece of content and then they don't get the reaction that they want, right? They don't get the thousands of likes and all the comments and all the shares. And then they go inward and they go, oh, nobody liked that. Oh, shoot, I'm not going to share anymore because that was scary, right? And that's not it at all. That's actually not it at all. The reason that you didn't get all the reaction you wanted to yet is because your post just wasn't seen by enough people, right? Like, the more consistent you are and the more you share, the more reach you get, the more people share your stuff, the more people find you, the more comments and likes and all of those things you're going to get. That's not why we do this. We don't show up for the likes and the comments. But that's a lot of times, I think, the reason why people aren't consistent, because they're not getting the reaction they want. So they feel like, oh, that didn't work, I don't want to show up again. And that's not it at all. You have to keep showing up, even when it feels scary, even when it feels like no one's there, even when it feels like no one's listening, even when, if there's nobody on the live, that's okay. You show up and you do it anyways, right? And that consistency over time will build, and you will get more and more people who are engaging in your posts. So you absolutely want to be consistent. People follow people who show up consistently with good energy and with good value and with things to share. So that's how you want to be in yours as well. All right, number 3, or no, wait, this is number 4. We're almost to the end of this already. Number 4 is you're focused on the followers. Okay, so let's talk about this. A lot of times we feel as coaches that we aren't significant enough unless we have 10,000 followers. It's like, well, no one's gonna want to work with me. I only have 100 followers. And that's not true. So then we try and build our accounts to get the number big so that we feel like we're worthy of whatever, right? And I want you to forget about the number. Yes, I know that this is all talking about growth, audience growth, but I want you to forget about the number. I don't care what the number is. You shouldn't care about what the number is. You should care about showing up and giving value for your ideal client. Right? And if you can forget about the number, forget about the followers, don't focus on that at all, and just focus on, today I'm showing up because I know that this is going to help someone. I know that this post is going to, help move the needle for somebody. This is something that I want to share. This is something that I went through that I think will help people. When you focus on being of service through your Instagram account, the followers will come. The followers will come, and that's what you want. They're following you because of your energy. They're following you because you want to, show up and be of service. That energy transfers into your posts. So if you are focused on, I'm going to post this and it's going to bring me new followers, and this is going to, going to get shared a whole bunch of times, and this reel is going to go viral, I can't wait. And that's the energy behind why you're posting what you're posting. That energy transfers over to the viewers, and even though they might not be able to pinpoint it, they're going to feel that like kind of resistance to it, and it's not going to do the thing you want to do. You want to show up with the energy of, this post, I know this is going to help someone. I know that someone needs to hear this today. this is going to help somebody, you know, do X, Y, and Z, and this is what I'm here for, right? When you show up with that kind of energy of like, this is going to serve and help somebody, especially, you know, if you've got it targeted to your ideal clients and all those things, that's when people are going to want to follow. They're going to want to stay. They're going to want to see what else you have to post. They're going to watch your videos. They're probably going to go through your account and go through all of your stuff, right? Like that's what we do. We check people out, we binge their content, we decide we're going to follow them, right? So don't focus on the followers. Don't focus on the number. Don't worry about that. Sure, we want to grow our audiences, and you can look at your insights and you can see what's going on and you can see what kind of posts are doing well and what people are liking and engaging in, and use that as a guide to create more content like that. But really, what you're here to do is show up and share your voice. Show up and share your message. Show up and share who you are, what you're about, how you serve people, what you've learned, what you've experienced. And with that kind of energy, that's the kind of stuff that's going to grow your account. And you just let go of how many followers you have. Who cares if people unfollow you? Don't worry about any of that stuff. Just really focus on being of value and share your message. And that's over time what's going to grow your account. And honestly, like I said, in the last 90 days, and I literally just looked at my insights before I got onto this live just so I could have some context for you. But I've had, like I said, I had a 40% increase in followers, a 55% increase in reach, and a 53% increase in engagement. And it's because I'm showing up with that energy of what does my audience need to hear today? How can I help them move the needle in their coaching business? What is that new coach struggling with right now? And how can I help them, you know, take another step? How can I help them keep going? How can I help them feel confident? That's the energy behind what I've been doing in the last 90 days. If you went through my account, everything has something to do with that specific niche. And so that energy and that focus of how can I serve this audience is what has increased the engagement on my personal Instagram, which is why I know that this stuff has an impact. And so if you can really understand your niche, really get that clarity, if you can show up with value and give them something to help them move the needle, a thought, it could even be a quote, it could be something inspirational, it could be some educational steps, it could be anything that's going to help them, you know, just keep going in whatever it is that you help people with. If you can be consistent in that value and that showing up, and just stop worrying about how many people are following you and just worrying about, am I showing up consistently, giving great value to my audience? Awesome. Then the followers will come. And so I just wanted to share that. Sorry, my nose is itchy. I wanted to share that here on this live. I know I did a post. This is what the post looks like. These are my notes, but the post on my account looks like that. And I thought, you know what? Let's flesh this out a little bit more, because I feel like, again, this is just something that we need to talk about. It's all about being you, being authentic, being your voice, and showing up and giving value and serving those who you want to work with in your business. And if you do that consistently enough, and here's the other thing, last thing I'm going to say, is when you do all of this stuff that I shared today in this live, you do this consistently. And I'm not even just talking for 30 days, 6 days, or even 90 days. Like, I'm talking, you need to do this consistently for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Like, you're going to see that growth come eventually. There's a momentum that builds when you are consistent, when you show value, give value, when you share your authentic voice, when you focus on, you know, being of service. When you do that consistently for an X amount of period of time, and for everybody's going to be different, that's when you're going to start to see the quantum leap in growth in your account. Like, you can't, this isn't something you do for 30 days and then you don't do it anymore because you're like, oh, I didn't get the growth I wanted. Or you don't do it for 3 weeks and go like, this isn't working, forget it. I'm going to just, I'm going to take a break kind of thing. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. This is like consistent thing that you're going to commit to for the next, until it works, right? Until you've got it, until you're, have everything you desired kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to share. I hope that you found this helpful. I love that my nose gets itchy while I'm live. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you want that Nail Your Niche guide so that you can get really specific on your niche, if you're struggling in that area, let me know. You can also get it in the link in my bio. But if you have any questions about this or comments, I love to chat about this kind of stuff. And just be real, be you, show up consistently, be authentic, and focus on being of service. And I promise you, your accounts will grow. Awesome. Okay, guys, that's it for me. I don't think I see any questions. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. Hey, Emily. Awesome. And if you have any questions, you can always drop them in my messenger as well. All right, everyone. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.